Well, I've had an absolute mare there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Welcome back to TTL F2 Season 6 Round 3 here in Spain. I do apologise about my connection. It was completely fine coming into it, and all of a sudden it's just dropped out. That's why you saw a disconnect on your screens. I do apologise about that. We have got connection back up and running. I'm just waiting for everyone's names to load up within the lobby session, because apparently you can't spectate the action unless everybody's names come up, which is absolutely ridiculous. They should automatically come up. It's beyond me to see a game that still needs fixing on the level that this game does with some of the glitches that we have. It is quite extraordinary, but as soon as we can give you the action, of course, I will start commentating back on the action. Of course, it was Honey Badger trying to get on the back of Venom. Here we go, straight back into the session. We'll have a look if there's been any position changes since we have been gone. So I've taken a very nice drink there of my Coke that I've got. Another non-alcoholic drink, as per me. Right, we are back here. Seems like there's been pit stops out on track. Yeah. There's been some pit stops out on track since we have gone. Spike though leads by, I would say, that's around 1 second, that gap. About 1.5 seconds coming through. Shot there, the Scotsman in second. So Honey Badger has been into the pits. Maximus has also been into the pits as well. That was to replace his front wing, remember. Honey Badger has came into the pits, presumably, I would say, for maybe a tyre change more than anything else. Given how they are out on track, that would make sense, I think. Spike is improving personal best through the middle sector. Of course, if I can get the interval timings up, it would be fantastic. Of course, they'll probably come towards the end of lap 5 here. I think we might have just seen a little position change. Sean and Mays, Sean and Renfara, that was, just having a bit of snap of oversteer coming out of turn 10. That was at the end of the straight. Coming across the line, we'll have the interval times up, and it is Spike who leads the way by 1.9 seconds, and he sets the new fastest lap of the race to boot. Remember, top 10 get penalties? Top 10 positions are available for the fastest lap. Venom in second, Vic Mill in third. Beautiful helicopter cam here as we come through the first couple of corners. We see the winding nature of this track. Siege is in fourth, Spike in fifth, Matter in sixth, coming down into turn 1. There's Renfara in seventh, Sean in eighth. Mays nicely going in ninth. It's about 14 seconds off Sean at the moment. Honey Badger's just coming around behind him, out on track. He's in 10th, Maximus in 11th, and Tim Wensink in 12th position. It's Honey Badger now who sets the new fastest lap of the race, and that will count because there will be plenty of pit stops still yet to come. Not sure how important the undercut is around here at Spain, but trust me, I think it is going to be pretty potent. Pit stops, I think, are going to be in the 35, maybe 40 second range here tonight. So, of course, it'll be quite interesting to see how Honey Badger, if he catches up quick enough, will he be around, in and around these guys when these guys pit. We have got a bit of a battle going on though. We come Sean, this is. Position. There's of course Carlos out on track. Sauber Jr. against the Campos, of course. And Sean again, just having a bit of stuff I've always seen. The sun is trying to break through the rain, might be getting a little bit lighter out on track, certainly not light enough for any thingy. Renfara has a bit of a half spin coming out of turn 12, that was. And Sean again beginning to pressurise on the back. Anybody coming into the pit, of course, Matter just ahead is in the same car, so both the Camposes are running quite nicely indeed in terms of the constructors. 6th and 8th position currently out on track are Matter and Sean. Spike still leads the way though, 1.4 seconds. Again, if you are just tuning in to the action, yes, there is a part 2, and yes, I apologise about my connection. There's something very wrong with my connection there. I do apologise for it dropping out. Hopefully it won't happen again. Spike still leads the way though. Honey Badger again sets a new fastest lap. First one into the 46s here tonight, a 46.8 in the Act 1 pre-car. Of course, Honey Badger has taken both feature races so far this season in Australia and indeed in China last week. And Tim Wenting has taken both sprint races for that matter, as well as Mays has made a mistake coming through turns 1 and 2, and Honey Badger says thank you very much for the free position, and the Dutchman is through and he's up into 9th position. Sean, right on the back of Ren Farah, looking good at this stage, I've got to say. Sean, taking a deeper line. I would be trying to exploit the bit of a wider line, to be honest, through some of the corners. Sean, right on the back of Ren Farah. As I begin to pick up a little bit of flu, I think. Ren Farah and Sean, again, not really close enough for any sort of one-on-one competition here between 7th and 8th. Mata runs very deep there, coming into turn 10 at the end of the straight. Oh, Ren Farah gets caught on the curb. This could open up an opportunity for Sean to maybe exploit him around the outside. He's going to try and nick it up the inside here in the Campos. Ren Farah just having a bit of a half spin, nearly spins it into Sean for that matter as well. Somehow they didn't make any sort of contact at all. Fantastic driving there between the German, and good spatial awareness for Sean as well. And he's currently in 8th position. We see them riding over the curb, and you can really see how difficult these conditions are out on track. Again, Ren Farah and a much quicker exit out the final corner. Just gives Sean something to think about running down the straight. He's 8 tenths off. He's not going to be catching in the meantime. Gap for the lead begin to come down. Spike leading the way by about a second from Venom in second. Vic Mill was catching at one stage in the pole, as there is a yellow flag in sector 3 who was spun. It's Mays round. Mays' round coming into the pit lane. It's better to have a spin there than it is to have a spin just coming out of the final corner and you miss the pit lane. Mays taking it very gingerly into the pits. I don't blame him, as Sean is forcing his way up the inside of Ren Farah at turn 4. The Ren Farah might have just closed the gap on him now. I did come late into the party with that, but Ren Farah and Sean have a little bit of a coming together, and there is a yellow flag in sector 2. It's Vic Mill round at turn 8. Vic Mill round at turn 8. The pole is round, and he's lost their position to Siege, and he could even lose 4th position to the other Carlin of Spike as well. Maximus, of course, has already came into the pits, and Mace is coming out right at the back of the field, it seems. Yeah, he's well behind. I think he might have had a bit of a front wing change after that spin as well. We see Spike then right on the back of Vic Mill. Venom right on the back of Spike as well to come towards lap 9. And Spike leads the way. Oh, Venom, how on earth has he managed to keep that going? Venom getting caught on the curb. That was a bit of lock of oversteer right there. Sean and Ren Farah again are having a bit of a squabble for 7th and 8th. The German looking good at the minute. And Ren Farah has actually made a mistake there, I think. Yeah, Ren Farah has completely, well, I wouldn't say bottled it, but Ren Farah has made a mistake out on track through turn 14, that was. On the curb, it looks like he's caught a bit of a half spin. Sean says, thank you very much. I can now set my sight on my fellow teammate Mata, who is ahead by about 2.6 seconds, that gap. Back to the battle for the lead though. Spike and Venom currently leading the way. Honey Badgers just came across the line in terms of track position. He's now up into 8th position, and the first of the drivers that did have to pit, of course, or one of the first drivers that did have to pit, it was Tim Wenting, the first driver that pitted. Then it was Maximus, and then of course it was Honey Badger when he came into the pits, and that's the one we didn't see because my connection had failed. As Venom and Spike now get going for the battle for the lead. Matt are trying to catch Spike as well. The Carlin car ahead of Matter, and Spike actually has dropped off on Vic Mill, so I think Spike has had a moment somewhere in the Carlin, and he's lost, well, he hasn't lost 4th position, but he's lost 4 seconds on Vic Mill the last time I looked, for sure. Everyone, as I say, has been into the pit stop from 8th down to 12th. Everyone's still going out on track. Ever the nature, I think, trooping the colour here tonight out on track in Spain, as we are just through the halfway stage here out on track, and that is Venom coming into the pits, and he takes out a bollard for good measure. So Venom is into the pits. We're not sure if he might have taken that illegally, like an illegal pit entry there, but Spike is round again, and that is coming through turn 12, I think. Yeah, turn 10 out of turn 11. So Spike is round once again. The Carlin car really struggling here out on track. Spike though still leading the way. Siege now in second, one of the main title protagonists. Vic Mill is in third. Both Venom and Matter are into the pit. Where is Honey Badger in all of this? He's just coming through the final corner now. Where is Venom? Venom is at the end of the pit entry. This could be quite close between these two, and in fact I think Venom is going to get him by quite a long way indeed. Yeah, Venom has got him by, I would say, that is 2 seconds, maybe even, it's even more than that. It's nearly 4 seconds, Venom to Honey Badger. Wow, that's seriously impressive stuff. Venom clearly having the pace in the wet conditions. As we are on board, of course, with Honey Badger trying to chase down Spike, who was recently fresh off a mistake. Honey Badger just going a little bit wide there of the curb. Tim Wensing right on the back of Maximus as well, down in 10th and 11th position. Now 8/10 separating out on track. As it is Tim Wensing right on the back of Maximus for 10th and 11th, as I've just said. Car on car and the BWT Arden really taking it gingerly. You can really see actually these drivers are using very low gears. Tim Wensing especially just running on board there, 5th gear through turn 3. You never see that happen in the dry. You'll be taking a very high 4th into a 5th gear coming through there, maybe a high 3rd to a 4th and then to a 5th through there. But Tim Wensing really trying to deliver some good action here out on track. He's 1.3 seconds off. In the more immediate vicinity, Spike is right on the back of Honey Badger is right on the back of Spike. That's his fastest lap as well, 46.5 for Honey Badger out on track, and the gap is only 5/10 of a second as we are on to lap 11 for the leaders. Spike, Siege, Vickmill currently your top 3, with Sean, who's just came into the pits. Spike with a very slow exit out of the final corner. This could allow Honey Badger through on the inside. This should be easy pickings now for the Dutchman. The German is going to try and bang wheels. Never a fan of that, to be honest. Spike is trying to defend the position in a bit of an aggressive manner, if I've got to be honest. Honey Badger, I think, wisely backing off on that. Spike can afford to defend the position, but maybe not in the way as what he's thinking. He is trying to defend off the quicker driver, which is fair play to him. But Honey Badger is going to try and exploit him now, and surely, if he gets the run out of here, this should be it. But again, just trying to lose the power through the corner, and Honey Badger, I think, has had enough. He's going to try it up the inside. If Spike runs well off the camber of the corner, this will give Honey Badger the inside line, and it will. Honey Badger now on the outside line, and he's got through on Spike. He's done it cleanly, and Honey Badger ran the outside of Spike eventually through turn 4 into turn 5. Fantastic move. That's what we like to see. Good driving, and Honey Badger is through, and he's up to 5th position. Spike, maybe a little bit of questionable defending and a questionable banging of wheels out on the circuit down the pit straight. But I'm willing to gloss over that at any cost. Spike leads the way by 10 seconds. Of course, these guys have got to make a mandatory pit stop, so you will be seeing the top 3 and indeed Spike come into the pits as well. Spike, I would say, has got to come in sooner rather than later. Sean, however, is right on the back of Ren Farah. Sean recently getting out the pits in the Campos. He's in 9th position. He's actually lost a little bit of time to his teammate. It was Matter, of course, in 7th position, and Sean just getting caught on the inside curve there through turn 9. Matter is under pressure. Sorry, Ren Farah is under pressure from Sean. And again, Sean, maybe just warning him he's a little bit there. Just slip coming out of his dirty air a little bit there. And Sean clearly warning him that he is coming. And I don't blame him as well, because I think he will probably get him. Watch out for Vickman, because he's going to be coming out the pits very soon indeed. He's already been into the pits, I do believe, in the BWT Arden. Yeah, he's already been through his pit garage, so he's going to be coming out just ahead of the... Well, he's going to be coming out well ahead of these guys, actually. Ren Farah and Sean. Ren Farah has a bit of a half moment. Sean around the outside of the final corner. Beautiful! That is how you take advantage of a mistake around the track, and Ren Farah has had no luck whatsoever there, but he's right in the slipstream, trying to close him down into turn 1 once again. Sean in the Campos against Ren Farah in the Sauber Junior. They lean on each other a little bit. Ren Farah, I think, was trying his best, and he has a bit of a spin, and unfortunately for him, that was caught live on the stream. Ren Farah is round, trying to defend the position, rightly so, and he's trying to get back at Sean. He's just been caught on the inside curve though at turn 2, and that's where the spin has been costly, and Ren Farah now is down to 9th. Tim Wensing is back into the pits. Must have had a moment out on track. Maybe actually going on for a new set of tyres. He gets ahead of Mays quite comfortably, and Maximus is trying to chase him down as well. Right on ball actually with the battle for 11th and 12th out on track. The front 2 still yet to come in out on track. And we are on lap 13. There's Spike who leads the way by 9.9 seconds. Siege in second, but I may stress that these gaps will disappear in the blinking of an eye. There's the yellow flag in sector 2, and Ren Farah is round, and that is on the exit of turn 6. So he's lost control, I think, on the curb. He's ended up trying to control the car, I think, and then he's trying to flick it to the right-hand side. That's what I imagine has happened there. So Ren Farah has had another mistake out on track. This track is really costly for these tyres, and indeed, in these conditions, the drivers have got to take it extra careful. It's not like driving in the dry at all. It is literally like driving on a sheet of ice when you're in the wet, especially in these cars, which have to be so careful on the power. And we can really see Maximus gaining on that feathering of the throttle that I'm on about. He is really gaining the time through on Maze, and Maze could be a sitting duck here actually. The Carlin car is going to be granted the inside. The dams brake slightly earlier. I think Maximus is going to have this move done. That is Spike just in the background as well, and Maximus clean through on the inside of Maze. Good respect shown between the two drivers. That's what we like to see once again. Good, clean, fair racing out on track. Maximus is through, and he's up to 11th position. Whether he will be in that position come the end of the race remains to be seen. Of course, we are still on lap 13. There is Spike, just in behind these two guys, about to be lapping these two, in fact. Spike dominating out in front, but he does have to come into the pits, and indeed, he is not going to come into the pits, as Maze has had a moment coming out the final corner and Ghost out of the way. He got out of the way as well, but was ghosting at its finest right there. And it's good to have the ghosting system on, I've got to be honest. Honey Badger right on the back of Venom for 3rd and 4th. Spike, of course, has still got to come into the pit, so Maze will probably get to the end of the race on those tyres. Spike is in 1st, and he has gained a 2nd on Siege, but the more pressing matter is the net battle for 2nd between Honey Badger, who's beginning to come to life again on these tyres, unless there's been a mistake by Venom on a relatively cold set. Honey Badger with a 46.5, again setting a personal best. Really nice through there. Really nice through there indeed. And 1.4 seconds now separating coming down into turn 1. And Venom looking good at this moment in time to try and hold the position. But again, the cold tyres might just be costing him, and you can really see it takes a lot longer for the tyres to actually warm up on a set of wet compounder tyres on a wet track than it does on a dry track. Dry track, the tyres normally come to life within about 2 or 3 laps of the race actually beginning, if it was the first stint. These wet conditions, it'll probably take double that amount of time, about 5 or 6 laps for the wets to actually come into play. And you can really see why Honey Badger is setting these fastest laps as well. Because Venom, the Scotsman right on the back, we have a bit of a revving out glitch I think there from Honey Badger, unless he was taking a very high 4th gear. No, he was just taking a very high 4th gear. Goodness me. But the Scotsman though, hanging on for 3rd place, and Honey Badger actually manages to get into the corner. You can really hear the tyres squealing, almost like saying, give up on me. Give up on me. But Honey Badger's certainly not one to give up at all. There's the yellow flag in sector 1. It's Ren Farah, who's rounded again at the same place that we saw him spin earlier on, round at turn 2. Maximus has clean sailed on Maze after that mistake. He's now about 10 seconds ahead. And we'll give you the full rundown then of everyone out on track. Of course, the drivers still do have to make pit stops, and I think with Siege and Spike, they will have to make a pit stop. Venom with a new fastest lap of the race, 45.8. How's that right? Oh, Honey Badger set at 46.1. That's my bad. I thought he set a 45, Honey Badger. I thought it was a 45.1, not 46.1. I might have read out the wrong number right there. Oh, and Spike in... Who's that getting out of the way? That's Maximus getting out of the way. Good to see respect once again shown. That's what the yellow flag is showing. No yellow flags now, because they've just got Maximus letting through the leader. Spike then leads the way by 11.2 seconds. We are halfway through lap 15. Siege is in 2nd, 11.2 seconds off. Venom is in 3rd, with Honey Badger in 4th. Spike in 5th, Vic Mill in 6th. Vic Mill is on a big advantage with the guys ahead relatively. He's right on the back of Spike. He's about 9/10 off at this stage. The German doing a good job out on track and keeping those tyres relatively fresh, you would imagine. But with these tyres comes the risk that they will go cold towards the end of their stint, and Spike has yet to pit. Same with Spike and the other Spike and Siege. The Brit Spike runs wide, the German Spike runs wide, and the Carlin. Vic Mill now beginning to pressurise him. Surely not down the inside of turn 9 yet, backs off. I think he's just going to try and feather the throttle through here. He will be running in the toe. Look at the spray being kicked up as well. You can really see how heavy the rain is out on track. Spike goes very deep into the corner. Vic Mills just nicks it up his inside. The pole says thank you very much for that. And Vic Mill is through. And car number 19, he is through and he's up into 5th position. And the BWT Arden has a bit of a half spin off the curb. Goodness me. Spike still hanging on in there though. Could he come back at him through the chicane and into turn 16, the final corner? No, he can't, because he's had a half spin out of turn 14. And again, I did warn these guys that it would be a very tricky thing to have. Spike leading the way then. The other Spike leading the way by 11.5 seconds out on track. Siege in second, Venom in third, Honey Badger in fourth. That is the top 4 currently out on track. I'm going to take a lovely drink out on track. Hopefully we will see a bit of action kicking off, but until then I will be back in about 30 seconds to a minute. Spike still leads them by 11.7 seconds and still yet to come into the pits as well. Maybe these guys actually out in front, and indeed Spike, the German, in the Carling car, maybe they are going to wait until the end of the race. Of course, I might be rewriting my own rules here, to be honest, by saying that the guys do have to pit for mandatory pit stop. I'm sure that is in the rules, but it might be up to them, because it is wet conditions. We might have different rules for the wet, different rules for the dry. Venom and Honey Badger in the meantime, 0.8 of a second as they come across the line. Of course, I will check in. If you are enjoying the stream, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. We do have plenty of action coming up this week, including Mini League tomorrow night, which I'm sure you will all be excited for. I'll be taking you through 7 o'clock and 7:45 for the stream tomorrow night. That is of course Belgium and Japan, and coming through as Spike has made a mistake and Matter right on the back. I'll cut on board with the scheduling in just a moment, but Matter right on the back of Spike, the Campos right on the back of the Carling car. Have we seen this so often in Formula 2? Matter down the inside, Spike just feathering off the throttle down into turn 1. Matter runs wide through the cut, hanging off the camber of the corner. Spike doing a good job. Matter forced off track. He's trying to lunge it down the inside. Fair play to Matter, not giving up without a fight. And the Campos car will have to sit tight once again. And he just have to try and exploit him. He's on much fresher tyres, Matter. You would expect him to pass him. But I've got to be honest, with Spike's 16 laps worth of tyres that he has, a bit of a half spin, he surely has got to come into the pits. Now Matter right around the outside into turn 5. Oh, Spike has gone way too deep there. He's into the gravel, into the grass. Matter has said thank you very much for that, and that is why you pit in quite early on in the race, because the tyres are going to be absolutely dead towards the end of the race. So the German is now down to 7th and could come under pressure actually from his teammate Sean. He was right on the back in 8th position, now 6/10 behind Spike, and again the German is under pressure, sustained pressure here from the Brit out there in front. Spike again just taking a bit of a lunging line. Sean down the inside though says, does he say thank you very much? Oh, just for a little bit of a love tap there. Love Island's on in 20 minutes. Sean gives him a bit of a coupling up there, and he's through and he's up to 7th position. Have to get a bit of a Love Island pun in there, to be honest. Can't beat a bit of Love Island on a 9 o'clock. But Spike leads the way from Siege in second. Enough about me and Love Island. Spike leads the way. We're about halfway through the lap here with Spike. He's just coming towards the end of the second sector now, through turn 9 and into turn 10 at the end of the straight here. Sean and Spike not giving up without a fight there. Spike is 4 tenths away. We'll ride him back on board with that, actually. Bit of action to provide for you guys. The Brit, though, Sean will hold the position. Spike definitely not going to try from that far back. If he carried a bit too much speed there, then I would have expected him to probably make contact. I would imagine if that was the case. But Spike now will probably just have to hang on for 8th position because Tim Wentink is in 9th. Might have been different if he didn't have to pit again. Spike then is coming through the final corner to start the final lap of the feature race, and we are going to have our first different winner in the feature race out on track here tonight. Spike will be winning, providing and touching anything like that. Spike will win here tonight in the feature race. He will start 8th though in the sprint race, and of course it was Tim Wentink, TTG_Wentink, and I forgot to say welcome to TTG Tim Wentink, of course. I totally forgot to mention that at the start of the stream. I've just realised his name's changed. Spike through the first sector then, leading by 13.1 seconds. Siege in 2nd, Venom in 3rd, Honey Badger is in 4th, Vicmil 5th, Matter 6th, Sean 7th, Spike 8th, Tim Wentink 9th, and Farah 10th, Maximus 11th, and Maze in 12th position. He's on 10 lap old wet compound of tyres. So we'll ride on board then with the driver who is out in front in the Universality car, and going to be giving them a good lift up in the constructors here as well. Been a fantastic race for, if I can get it, yeah, Spike in the Universality car. He's got Maximus chasing him down. Coming through the final sector now, Spike has just dominated this race really. Let's have a look at it. He hasn't gained any positions. Siege from 9th has gone to 2nd position. Fantastic result from him. If he can get that across the line in 2nd, which he will do. He's 8.5 seconds to Venom. Spike now though coming through the chicane for the final time. This is the trickiest corner that he's got to face out on the track. He takes it very steadily through, and the Brit is going to win his first race here in TTL F2 this season. It's the feature race as well. Spike has taken the win, runs onto the grass, but wins by about 13.5 seconds. Siege coming around the final corner now, putting up a valiant effort in defeat, and he is catching him towards the end of the line. Siege across the line in 2nd, good result from him. The Scotsman under pressure though, right in behind. Honey Badger might want another lap. He's not going to get one because the Scotsman Venom comes across the line in 3rd. Honey Badger just ran out of time there, catching him all the way to the line. Vic Mill will be coming across the line in 5th, just cutting the corner there through turn 14. But the Paul is going to be coming across the line in 5th. He will start 4th in the sprint race, which is still to come. Vic Mill across the line and then 5th. Matter, who is coming through turn 13 now, he's about to come across the line in 6th position. He's got his teammate chasing him down as well. So both Campos cars are going to be scoring quite highly up in the point scoring system. And I really remind you, it is a different point scoring system for both sprint race and the feature race. Feature race is based off the F1 point system, i.e. real life. The sprint system is 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, filling out the top 10 positions. Spike across the line then in 8th. Has he run out of fuel? He hasn't. But he picked up a 5-second time penalty. I don't think that will make any sort of difference at all to the result, because Tim Wentink is now coming around the final corner in 9th. It's been a disappointing display, if I've got to be honest. He always doesn't show much consistency within the feature race. It always comes alive for him in the sprint race. Hopefully that will be the case tonight and continue on his 100% record in the sprint races this season. And Ren Farah, well done for trying, because he's going to come across the line in 10th position to pick up the final point scoring position here tonight. Race 1 is over and done with for the feature race, and it is Spike who takes a very dominant win out on track. Fantastic win indeed from the Brit, and it is pretty much a British 1-2-3, because Venom and indeed Siege join him in the 2nd and 3rd spots respectively. Siege finishing 2nd of course, and Venom hanging on for grim life right at the end there, but Honey Badger not doing enough to come across the line in 3rd. And we will move on, of course, to the sprint race, and we'll give you a full rundown of the standings very shortly indeed. But a dominant display by the Brits out in front in that Uni car, and I'll boost them up in the constructors as well. So, the results of the feature race is as follows. Spike wins from Siege in second. From 11th position, he might be a leading candidate for driver of the day. Venom in third, picks up the fastest lap from Honey Badger, so he gets the next point. Honey Badger finishes in 4th position, with Vic Mill in 5th, Matter in 6th, overtaking his Campos rival for 6th position. Sean in 7th, Spike in 8th, Wentink in 9th, Renfara in 10th position, Maximus in 11th, Maze in 12th. I'm very pleased to say everyone finished. Fantastic stuff. Everyone finished, no DNFs, so we've got 12 drivers going into the sprint race, which is coming up for you in just a second indeed. I'm going to swallow down the rest of this Coke that I've got. Some of it anyways. And what a difference a race makes. What a difference a race makes, quite literally, because it is bone dry and the sun in Spain now shines mainly on the plains of Spain. As pretty terrible, to be honest, but I've got to say, what a thrilling race that feature race was. Of course, if TTG Spike can reclaim his form from the feature race, he could be a leading candidate to take the sprint race. Of course, guys, if you are tuning in, do show your support to some of the drivers out on track tonight. If you do want to show support to anybody here, including me, of course you can. Like, comment and subscribe, as I say, to the channel. Tomorrow we have got the mini leagues back, so I'll be commentating on mini league 2, as I've already alluded to about 3 times on the stream. Be Nexus, PMP, TTG Academy, 2 other teams that have gone completely off my head a little bit there. But we are going to be doing Belgium and Japan tomorrow night, so you will be seeing the action here out on track once again. So Belgium first, Japan second for the tracks, and then we will go also for Mini League 1 tomorrow night as well. Kim McGinley will be taking you through that one, and it does prove to be a very exciting race. And the drivers in Mini League 1 have, of course, got Germany and Singapore tomorrow night, if I do recall, which I think I am 100% in saying that. Let me just check again. Pretty sure it was Germany and... yeah, it was Germany and Singapore. Just checking, want to be 100% factually correct here on TTTV, of course. But with the sprint race comes the top 8 reverse. So Spike, who finished 8th, German Spike, who finished 8th in the Carlin car, is now in front. Sean in second. Campos are going to be quite good with this result so far. Sean and Matter, of course. Vic Mill 4th, Honey Badger 5th, Venom in 6th, Siege in 7th. Who on earth was that going miles wide? Goodness me, Renfara taking his own track limits there. I'm afraid to say that's the wrong way. I hope he doesn't do that in the race. So he's already raced around here before. Renfara clearly exploiting his own track limits, and that is karma right there. That is why you don't take the wrong track in a formation lap, and that is why you don't behave like an absolute buffoon. There you go. That's how you don't do it. That's all I'm going to say with that. It's the funniest thing you've probably seen on a formation lap in TTL F2 ever. Spike then leads them on to the grid for the final time here tonight for the sprint race, of course. 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those are not random numbers, those are the point system that you will be following here tonight. And Honey Badger just joining up with Renfara at the back of the grid as well. We are about to go green once again here in Spain for round 3 of the championship. This time it's the sprint race. Be prepared, because this is going to be fast, furious, and you don't want to blink. 5 red lights about to go out here in Spain once again. Long and lights hold, but lights down, away we go. What are the starts like? Spike gets a very good start from the line. Matter this time getting a very good start from the line, and he might have just had the better start. Now Spike, as he comes side by side down towards turn 1. Vic Miller's on the inside, could be 3 wide and behind. There's a little bit of jostling for position and behind. I think that was Spike just getting caught a little bit flat with Wensing. Everyone clean through turn 1 and 2, and Spike leads the way. Matter, Honey Badger's up as position. Tim Vic Miller on the inside is going to gain a few positions out of this. Sprint racing, fast, furious and fun. Siege and Tim Wensing as well having a bit of a squabble. There's a little bit of a Constantino effect as Spike drops down the field. That is Brit Spike, but German Spike leads the way. Matter, Honey Badger locking up there down into turn 5. Really good start by everyone. Oh, there's been a bit of contact in the background. It's Spike, the feature race winner, who has been contacted with Ren Farmer. I think there's more contact. Sean has had a bit of a moment there with Siege going up the inside of him maybe. It's carnage now here in the sprint race. Goodness me, I've never seen cars strewn about on this. Oh, Sean just rejoining track in a little bit of an unsafe manner, to be honest there. Spike leading the way though back to the action out in front. Honey Badger and Vic Mill have pretty much been glued together throughout this lap, and once again they're glued together. The Dutchman and the Pole going at it, and it is just the Dutchman who comes out on top. So Honey Badger up to 3rd position. Venom down the inside of Tim Wenting, trying to get the move done. Oh my goodness me. It is crazy action here in TTL F2, the sprint race. Not failing to disappoint so far. That's just lap 1, and Spike leads the way by 6.5 tenths. But Matter in 2nd, Honey Badger 3rd, Vic Mill 4th, Venom in 5th, Wentink in 6th, Maze Maximus. Siege is into the pits and must have had contact. Renfara has, however, retired from the session. Not sure if he's actually crashed that into the pit lane and has caused that virtual safety car. Footage, we didn't catch that on the stream. However, I have a feeling that might have been done through the into the pit lane, possibly. There is a jostling position between Maximus and Maze. Not sure why there's a position change there. Everyone should be keeping clean through, but we are back underway at the end of a 2nd VSC period here. Maze let through by Maximus, I think, and they have sorted their differences out, and Maze is up to 7th position. But Spike, the German, leading the way in the Carlin. Carlin could be actually picking up some very valuable points here with Maximus also in 8th position. Spike leading the way, but ILRT Matter has really got the hammer down in 2nd position as Vic Miller's round. Vic Miller's round and into the wall hard. That must have been contact with somebody else, as it's all getting going for the battle for the lead once again. Goodness me, you don't know where to turn here in TTL F2, especially in the sprint races. Spike leads the way from ILRT Matter in 2nd, Honey Badger in 3rd, Venom may be in a little bit of a rush in 4th position, may just have to calm down his braking point slightly, because he nearly contacted the back end of Honey Badger there, and he just loses a bit of momentum coming out of the final corner. As I chuck down the rest of my coke, Honey Badger right on the back of Matter, coming down towards turn 1, Venom also right on the back. It just extend track limit slightly going down into turn 1, but that is the line you want to be taking through there. And Spike holds the position. Venom, the Scotsman, trying to look up the inside of the Grand Prix car of Honey Badger. Oh, and he sails it through. Oh, how on earth has he recovered that? How on earth has he recovered that? The Scotsman pulls off. Oh, and Spike's round in the front. Spike is round from the lead of the race. I can't believe it. I cannot believe what I've just seen. Venom with the recovery of the century right there. The Scotsman has pulled off an absolute wild one to recover that. Spike spinning out in front. 2 bits of drama within the space of about 15 seconds. And Matter inherits the lead of the race in the Campos from Honey Badger in 2nd, Venom in 3rd, Wensing in 4th. Trying to carry on his 100% record. Renfara has left the race. Luckily that is in the sprint race and not between lobby, as Honey Badger has a bit of a moment coming out of turn 10. Venom trying to look up the inside there. No thank you, Honey Badger says, and he defends the position very nicely indeed. ILRT Matter. No, we are only towards the end of lap 3 and on to lap 4. Sean, I think, has gone through on Maximus, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Sean has gone through into 6th position. So the Campos team beginning to make up positive ground through the field with their second drivers. The toll tries to be broken by Mata. He's now under pressure from Honey Badger and Venom, who is right around the outside on Honey Badger. Could he get the move done into turn 1? Honey Badger will have to defend this lightly down the inside. There's hardly any contact, and Venom completes it beautifully around the outside as IGL Spike is out of the race. German Spike out the race. Mata runs wide. Here comes Venom now on the inside line. He's just going to switch in, I think. No, he's not. He's going to lunge it down the inside into turn 4. Venom and Mata going at it. It will serve on the outside of the corner. Mata will have to fight this down the inside into turn 5. The Campos car against the what's Venom's car? The MP Motorsport, goodness me. Mata up the inside once again. They're still side by side, these two. Oh, Venom pushes them off track. That might just have to be investigated. I think there was a snap of oversteer more than anything else, and LRT Mata has spun around. This gives Tim Wenting and Honey Badger a bit of a look into. The two Dutchmen are going to go side by side. Mata, I think, rightly retires out of the race. A little bit of contact there with Venom. That will get investigated. Tim Wenting is up the inside and around the outside now on Venom. Surely he cannot complete this move around the outside of turn 12. This will be bold stuff from the Dutchman. Can he complete the move around the outside? He can, through 13, now into 14. Fantastic driving by the BWT Arden driver. Wenting is into the lead of the race, trying to maintain that 100% record. Honey Badger has a bit of contact with Venom as well. This is all kicking off right here. We're only onto lap 5. Tim Wenting leads the way, but Venom now on the outside line, being forced off slightly by Tim Wenting. We do want to see fair driving instead of forcing the driver off onto the track limit and beyond the track limits, in fact. But Venom holds the position firmly, and the Scotsman defending that beautifully, defending that pretty much like he would defend a girlfriend on Love Island. Tim Wenting right on the back of Venom, trying to go back down the inside. Venom just hanging off the camber of the corner slightly. There's a bit of contact, but not too much to warrant any sort of penalty right there. Tim Wenting, bit of a voice break, trying to go around the outside again into turn 5, trying to get the move done through the kink of turn 6. He's surely not going to complete that. Tim Wenting, can he not? Oh, Venom. Really another heart-in-mouth moment right there. The Scotsman is trying to defend out of his skin here. Tim Wenting is driving out of his skin. Honey Badger's just sitting and rubbing his hands in that cockpit. Bricks very late, leaning into the back of Venom. Venom on the switchback. Doesn't get Wenting, and he holds on to the lead of the race. This is really exciting stuff. Here out on track, of course, Mata, Spike and Renfara all out of the race. Spike has left the session. Venom, track extends slightly. Not sure if there was a little bit of edgy contact there between Wenting and Venom. Don't think there was. There might have just been a little nick, but nothing major. I think Wenting was going to get the move done anyway. So the yellow flag in sector 2. It's Spike that is round at turn 8. However, back up over the battle for the lead. We approach the halfway stage here in TTL F2, the sprint race. Venom on the outside line on Wenting, trying to go for the move around the outside. There's still good driving between these two. Venom, Wenting defending the position like an absolute lion. Fantastic stuff by Tim Wenting to defend the position. And that is how you drive. That is how you drive a defensive race. Tim Wenting, hats off already. I hope this race gets better and better for me, because this is just side-by-side action constantly between these two. Bit of bumping, barging wheels, but there's a lot of respect out on track, and that is what matters here in TTL F2. We've seen that in bucket loads, I've got to say tonight. A lot of respect between the drivers out on track. They respect each other, which really goes a long way to seeing battles like this. And Tim Wenting and Venom should be proud of this, and is producing, I'm sure, a lot of good action and a lot of good reports in the comments as well. Honey Badger braking late again, messing up that braking point. He needs to get that braking point right to stand any sort of chance of winning this race. We can calm down a little bit now. Tim Wenting leads the way by 2.5 tenths of a second, but when the action goes quiet, it doesn't really in the sprint races, because Venom is right on the back of Tim Wenting once again. We'll take this again from Honey Badger's point of view, running down the straight. Of course, the tow will be quite potent for Venom. Not so much Honey Badger, he's just off the back end. Tim Wenting trying to break the tow again and run him up the pit wall, but Venom is getting closer this time. Is it going to be a clean move around the outside? Can the Scotsman do it this time around? Tim Wenting on the inside line. Venom's got it. The Scotsman pulls it off, pulls it out the fire. Tim Wenting back up the inside. Venom just forces him onto the curb slightly, but still hammer and tongs between these two. Literally, it has all been left there out on track here tonight. Venom and Wenting trying to go around the outside again. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Venom should be waiting up for that. Venom should wait up for that, and he is. That is what we like to see. Good sportsmanship shown there. Although it inherits Honey Badger, the lead of the race, we always do try to ensure that these drivers do give a good sportsmanship rating out on track. Venom doing a really respectful thing there, waiting up for Wenting. He knew he had made contact with Tim Wenting, and that, I'm afraid, is the end of that battle. But the best thing to do was to let him back through, and that is what we like to see. Good respect shown by the drivers, and again, just reiterate what I said earlier on, with the driving out on track, there's been a lot of respect from these drivers out on track tonight, and it is fair play to all of them out on track here tonight. Cohen just coming and tuning in, saying, yes, Tim, I've got to be honest, yes, the drivers, absolutely brilliant racing, maybe one of the sprint races of the season, I've got to be honest, so far. A lot of good action out on track. The leaders are on to lap 8 out of 13, and there's Honey Badger, who does lead the way by 2.5 seconds from Tim Wenting in second. Venom is in third with Sean and Maze. I think just running a little bit wide there. Venom. Again, the Scotsman not backing down without a fight, and once again the Scotsman gets closer. Honey Badger now through by 2.4 seconds. Whether he makes any mistakes, Venom again just locking up. These drivers have got to be so careful on their braking points. There's a bit of action happening further down the field, which we're right on board with. Spike and Vic Mill. Vic Mill, I think, is going to get this move done down into turn 1. He'll defend the inside line. Spike has just given a lot of respect there for the inside line. And Vic Mill defends it nicely. He really didn't need to defend that position, I don't think, but Vic Mill is through and he's up into 8th position. Maze and Maximus now having a battle. Further down, well, further up the field for 5th and 6th. Colin Carr looking up the inside. Bit of a half look there at the inside on Maze, not getting the move done. My voice beginning to break and crack all over the place, but still, we are here. Honey Badger still leads the way from Tim Wenting in 2nd position. Here comes Venom, and again, look at the tactic that Wenting shows. Venom now is going to have to be quite wise. Tim Wenting is not defending, not moving up that inside line, and I think fair play to him because he's held on for the move there. Venom will try and touch it back through turn 2. He rides the curb very gingerly indeed through there. And Venom again, trying to hang it on the inside. Again, not going to be close enough. These two beginning to battle, letting Honey Badger get away. 2.7 seconds up the road. Siege sets the new fastest lap for the rest with a 1:32 flat. All of these drivers will be scoring points if they continue out on track, which would be a good bonus for everyone. And even if Maxa didn't retire, he would have been picking up a point, which is better than nothing, I think, at the end of the day, and it will fill you with that, just that little bit of confidence. And I think, if I wasn't mistaken in that, Honey Badger just had a bit of a mistake running onto the gravel. There was a bit of gravel being kicked up there from Honey Badger. Oh, and Venting's gone into deep. Venom, though, has a bit of a snap of oversteer coming out of the corner through turn 11, now into turn 12. Spike is on. It's a soft compound tyre. He's into the pits. He may as well, because he was losing time to Vic Mill. Best strategy to do, and that is the first pit stop I think we've seen in a TTL F2 race, a sprint race this season. Just to pick up a little bit of fun facts there for you guys. But Honey Badger leading the way. You can really see these two battling, beginning to affect their pursuit of the guy ahead. Venting has to pick up a line. Venom not going to go for the move there. Venting made sure he stuck to the middle of the track that time. It was 2 moves. Maximus has got through on Maze, though, in the meantime, further down the field. Maximus is through for 5th position. Maze tries to have a bit of a half look once again up the inside, and Dam's car right on the back of the car on here for 5th and 6th. We're right on board with this for a little bit. Venom don't think is going to challenge Venting for 2nd and 3rd. Might just have to change it up a little bit for those two guys. But Maximus and Maze having a good race so far. They've gained 6 positions respectively from 11th and 12th on the grid, so they could be going for a driver of the day vote right there. Venom and Venting once again, the two V's going at Tim Venting and Venom going at it once again. Where's Venting off to? Venting ran wide. There's a bit of contact there. Or did he just go a little bit too deep? That camera angle was very deceptive. And Venom says thank you very much, whatever happened there. Scotsman's through up to 2nd. I don't think there was contact. I think he just went way too deep into the corner. So Venting then is up to 2nd position. Sorry, Venom up to 3rd. Oh! Goodness me. Oh! Onto lap 11 we go. And Venting is now 2-1 Venom as a result of that mistake coming out of the final corner. Venom now down into P2. These two changing positions like a yo-yo in a hand. Pretty much there. If you can make that as you will, you will. Maze down the inside, sends it. Has he signed, sealed and delivered it? A little bit of contact. I think he was always going to get the move done though. Maze is through. He's up to 5th position. Signed, sealed, delivered like Stevie Wonder. Fantastic move by Maze, and he's up into 5th position. Maximus in 6th, currently out on track. We're right on board with the more pressing battle though. Venting and Venom. Venom this time running just a little bit too deep, and he's beginning to lose grip in those tyres, I think. So we'll go back on board with the battle for 5th. With Maximus round back. Both driving a very, well, not really a conservative race, both driving a really good race and a respectful race in their own right, these two. And the Dam's car just taking the exit, the entrance speed, and Maximus is just going to waltz past him. Maze can defend that with all of his might down the inside. I think he could pull it off though, and he has. Maximus goes onto the marbles, and Maze pulled it off, so obviously exploited a bit of a weakness there in Maximus. And Maze is up into 5th position. On to the penultimate lap of the race we go. Venom is trying to chase down Tim Venting. This time not using the slipstream, but he's now beginning to use it. Yeah, Venom not using the slipstream at all. Trying to gain out of that. As we have a very weird helicopter cam, if I've got to be honest there. Oh, Venting's round! I can't believe it. Venting is round. On the exit of turn 2, he is going to be livid with himself. Quite literally livid with himself right there. And Tim Venting, if I was him, I would just try and nurse the car home and try and pick up some points. Got 4.3 seconds over Maze. That gap is inevitably going to go down. It may even be the opposite way around towards the end of the lap. Maze and Maximus still having going for battle for 5th though. This could be eventually a battle for 4th between these two. Maximus down the inside on Maze. Maze holding firm around the outside, and the Dam's car getting the better exit. Noticing with Maze, he's just got to try and get the exit, the power on the exit of the corners. We'll see if he manages it through turn 9, because I noticed last lap he didn't. Yeah, this time he does. He just gets the exit of the power on the exit of the corner. This is what the drivers have got to remember in TTL F2. The drivers have got to get the exit, in general Formula 1 really, they've got to get the power on the exit of the corner to try and maximise their run out of the corner, which will give them a better chance to either defend the position or to gain the position. And I see commonly in league races that drivers tend to go power into the corner but never power out of the corner. And they always apply it a bit too late, and they always cost themselves a bit of time, like we have just seen now with Maze and Maximus. Maximus getting a much better exit out in the final corner, one to the final lap, and Maximus I think is going to pull this off. He's going to pull over to defend the position. He doesn't need to, he's already got it signed, sealed and delivered. Maximus is up to 5th, but the more pressing matter is, are they going to catch Venting? And, well, it's not a question of when, it's a question of if, really. I think Maze just running out on the AstroTurf slightly. There's Honey Badger out in front, 3.9 seconds the gap. Venom in second as a result of Venting's mistake. And Venting now is under sustained pressure. Oh, he'll be wanting that front wing to just automatically come back to him, like on GT Sport, where you get the automatic damage model. And you get, and if you put it on light damage, it comes back to you. Don't think we'll see that though. And Maximus is finding a way through. Oh, that was easy. At the end of the day, that was easy. Maximus has pulled off the move into fourth. Maze might just have to sit tight a little bit. Oh, Venting's nearly gone into the back of Maze. Maximus, sorry. Venting. Honey Badger across the line to win by 4.3 seconds. It's a dominant win for the Dutchman. Venom in second. Venting's hopes of a 100% sprint race record has gone. Sean will finish in third. A good result from Sean, I've got to be honest there. Maximus will hold on for Maze for fourth. They both got Venting late on. Unfortunate that contact with the wall was made. Maximus across the line in fourth. Maze across the line in fifth. Venting across the line in sixth. He will be banging himself. He'll be angry. Venting, knowing inside of his helmet he will be really livid with himself that he caught the curb a bit too much on turn 2, and we've seen it all before tonight, especially in the feature race, in the wet conditions where the drivers just got caught and applied a bit too much of the curb. So costly at the end of the day, and especially in these cars the weaknesses really do come out in some of the drivers. Obviously they can improve going forward, and I'm sure these guys will definitely improve going forward. And of course, it is only round 3 of the season. I might be being a little bit of a nitpick, to be honest, but obviously the drivers, I think, and I know Venting, he'll be absolutely annoyed with himself. That is what I'm trying to really engage at there. Spike will be coming across the line in 9th behind Vic Mill. A race to forget for Spike, but a race to savour for Honey Badger, who takes the win as a result of dramatic contact between Venom and Venting, my two favourite names now, I think, tonight in TTL F2. But what a win for Honey Badger. Takes the spoils here. He didn't get his 100% feature race record ongoing, but he certainly made up for it in the sprint race, and he will hold the championship lead going into next week. And I think Venting and Siege will definitely swap positions, because I think Siege is now ahead of Venting in the standings. That will have to be confirmed, however, though. But fantastic win for Honey Badger in the sprint race. And we will go to the final standings as Honey Badger takes it by 1.2 seconds out on track as a result of a 3-second time penalty from Venom in second. The point scoring, as you see it, is pretty much how it normally is. The top 10, of course, we count here in TTL F2. Venom in second, Sean in third. Maximus and Maze, good drives from them, 4th and 5th, from 11th and 12th on the grid. They get my joint drive of the day for the sprint race. Venting in 6th, Siege in 7th, Vic Mill in 8th, Spike in 9th, Matta, Spike and Renfara all out of the race at different points. Hopefully we can catch up with them. And hopefully any footage of incidents will be investigated as well, and will be investigated as quick as possible, really. Honey Badger, Venom, Sean, your top 3 here tonight. That is all from me, though. I'm going to go on voice rest for the next 24 hours, and we will, of course, be back we will be back, of course, tomorrow, I should say, in 24 hours' time, for the resumption of the mini league. We have got Mini League 2 on a... We've got Mini League 2 on a Wednesday night coming forward, and Mini League 1, in fact, as well. We've got Mini League 2 with myself from 7 o'clock. It is Belgium and Japan with me tomorrow, and that'll be 7 and 7:45. And then at 8:30, it'll be Kieran McGinley taking you through the action for Mini League 1. And that is going to be around Germany and Singapore. And of course, we've got TTL F1, TTSL and CRC all to come up with this week as well. It's going to be quite a hectic week, but I'm going to love it. Until then, I will catch you in about 24 hours time, in less than 24 hours time, for the mini league. So until then, I've been James Head. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.